My sister leaned back in her chair, arms crossed, voice loud enough for the entire New Year's dinner table to turn their heads. You're already in your mid-30s and still single? Must be tough spending New Year's alone, huh? Her smirk glowed brighter than the chandelier above us. Forks paused. Eyes shifted toward me. Someone stifled a laugh. I didn't blink. I didn't shrink. I simply set my glass down, folded my napkin, and looked straight at her. You don't have to worry about me, I said calmly. I've been married for a long time. The entire room stopped breathing. My mom froze mid-toast, her champagne glass still suspended in the air. My dad coughed hard enough to shake the table. My brother's girlfriend actually dropped her fork. My sister's smile vanished instantly. Married, she repeated, her voice cracking. To who? I took a slow sip of water, letting the silence stretch just enough to cut the air open. You'll meet him soon, I said softly. My sister scoffed, trying to recover her confidence. So, you just secretly got married?
Right. Sure.
And I'm the Queen of England. Mom leaned forward, voice trembling with irritation. Why wouldn't you tell us something like that? We're your family. I met her eyes, unbothered, steady. You never asked, I replied. Dad muttered. Well, where is this husband of yours then? I set my glass down again, slower this time. He's on his way. Around the table, chairs shifted. Faces paled. Whispers started. And then, from behind me, the front door opened. A deep voice carried through the hallway. Sorry I'm late. Every head at the table whipped toward the doorway like it had been yanked by strings. Footsteps echoed across the marble floor, slow, confident, unhurried. My sister's jaw actually dropped. My mom's hand shook so hard her drink spilled onto the tablecloth. And then he stepped into view.
Tall.
Sharp suit.
Warm, steady eyes.
The kind of man who made the air shift when he entered a room. He walked straight toward me, leaned down, and kissed the top of my head like he'd done it 1,000 times. Sorry, he murmured softly. Traffic. My sister made a squeaking noise no one had ever heard from a human before. Mom's eyes darted from him to me like she was solving a math equation she never studied for. You're married to him? He extended a polite smile. Nice to meet you all. I'm Ethan. My dad cleared his throat, confused and suddenly very polite. Welcome. Please have a seat. Ethan took the chair beside me, resting his hand on mine with a familiarity that electrified the table. My sister leaned forward, eyes sharp with disbelief. How long have you two been together? Ethan didn't hesitate. 3 years. Three years, she choked. And you never told us? I shrugged. You never asked about my life, only about my flaws. My sister's face twisted. So, you just hid a whole husband from everyone? Ethan gently squeezed my hand. She didn't hide me. She protected me. Mom stiffened. Protected you from what? He turned to her, gaze steady. From people who belittle her every chance they get. The table fell into stunned silence. And then Ethan looked at my sister. Especially you. My sister recoiled like Ethan's words physically struck her. Excuse me? She snapped, voice cracking. What exactly is that supposed to mean? Ethan didn't blink. He rested his arm on the back of my chair, relaxed, unbothered, the perfect opposite of the chaos simmering across the table. It means, he said calmly, I've heard the way you talk to her. The way you compare, mock, and undermine her. You call it jokes. I call it cruelty. My sister's cheeks flamed red. You don't even know me. Ethan raised an eyebrow. I know enough. Mom jumped in, flustered, trying to regain control of the situation. Arya, honey, why didn't you tell us he was coming? We would have prepared a place at the table. I looked at her, expression flat. You told everyone I'd be alone this year. Why would I correct you? Mom blinked rapidly. I didn't mean it like that. Then how did you mean it? Ethan asked quietly. Dad cleared his throat, discomfort leaking through every wrinkle on his forehead. Let's all calm down. We're family. No need to. Actually, Ethan cut in, voice gentle but firm. Family doesn't shame someone for being single, or older, or different. My sister scoffed. Oh, please. She's not a victim. She's boring. No career. No real achievements. Nothing going on in her life. We were being honest. Ethan leaned forward, eyes sharp. You're very loud for someone who knows so little. The table went dead silent. My sister folded her arms, bitter. So tell us then, she spat. What's so special about her? Ethan looked at her, not with anger, but with a calm certainty that made everyone lean in. With her, he said softly, everything. My sister scoffed so loudly it echoed off the dining room walls. Everything? Seriously? Area's average.
Plain.
Quiet. She doesn't even do anything. Ethan didn't even blink. That's the problem, he said. You mistake silence for weakness. But real strength isn't loud, it's steady. My sister rolled her eyes. Oh, please, enlighten us. Ethan turned his gaze toward the rest of the table, my parents, cousins, aunts, every face suddenly too still. You all think she lives a small life, he said. You assume she's lonely, aimless, or incomplete because she doesn't brag about herself. He touched my hand gently. But she built a life on her own terms. Quietly. Without validation. Without any support from this room. My mom stiffened. We always support her. Ethan cut her a polite, sharp smile. When was the last time you asked her how she was doing? Without comparing her to someone else. Silence. Dad opened his mouth, closed it again. Ethan continued. She survived a layoff 2 years ago. Started a small business from scratch. Paid for her own apartment. Traveled alone. Helped a friend through chemo. Volunteers at the animal shelter every Saturday. My sister blinked fast. She never told us any of that. I finally spoke. You never ask. My sister's jaw tightened. So, what? You think you're better than us? No, I said calmly. But I stopped letting your opinion define me. Ethan nodded beside me. And that's what makes her extraordinary. The room tensed, like everyone suddenly realized they weren't talking to the same quiet sister they mocked for years. My sister leaned back, eyes narrowing. Fine, she said coldly. If she's so perfect, where's the ring then? Ethan smiled. You'll see it. My sister leaned forward like a predator who thought she'd spotted weakness. Show us the ring then, she demanded. If you're really married, why hide it? Around the table, heads nodded, hungry for proof, for drama, for any way to corner me back into the box they'd built. Ethan didn't rush. He slid his chair back, stood up slowly, and reached into the inside pocket of his jacket. My sister smirked. Oh, this will be good. But when he pulled out a small velvet box, her smirk cracked. Mom gasped. Dad's eyebrows shot up. My aunt actually whispered, Oh my God. Ethan opened the box, revealing a simple, elegant gold band with a small engraved inscription. My sister let out a bitter laugh. That's not a wedding ring. That's a prop. Ethan shut the box and placed it gently in front of her. Read the inscription. She rolled her eyes but picked it up. Her face strained. A+E, 2019. Forever. Ethan said softly. The ring was custom-made 4 years ago. She didn't wear it today because she wanted to introduce me on her own terms. My mom grabbed the box, her voice shaking. Why didn't you tell us any of this? I looked at her steadily. You never cared enough to notice anything about my life unless it gave you something to gossip about. Dad spoke next, cautious. Why today, Arya? Why bring him now? Ethan answered for me. Because she's done being your family's punchline. You mock her for being single, when you didn't even know she had a husband who adores her. My sister slammed the box shut. This is insane. Married for 4 years? And we heard nothing? I leaned back. That's because you were too busy talking to ever listen. My sister wasn't done.
She never is.
She crossed her arms, narrowed her eyes, and spit out the same venom she'd used on me for years. Okay, fine. Let's say you're married. Let's say he's real. Let's say you've been hiding him.
Why?
What are you scared of?
Huh?
That we'll find out he married you out of pity? That he's actually broke? That he's using you?" Ethan actually laughed, low, warm, unbothered. "Oh, I'm far from broke." My sister turned red. Mom cleared her throat, trying to regain authority. "Well, what do you do, Ethan?" Ethan didn't dramatize it, didn't brag, didn't lean forward or puff his chest like the insecure men my sister worshipped. He just said it casually. "I'm a surgeon." The room dropped into dead silence. My sister's mouth opened, closed, then opened again like a malfunctioning robot. "A surgeon? As in?" "Yes," he said. "Neurosurgery." My aunt choked on her drink. Dad sat up straighter, like someone had yanked his spine. My sister blinked rapidly. "You married a neurosurgeon?" Ethan nodded, hand still resting protectively on mine. Mom, grasping for control, muttered, "Well, money isn't everything." Ethan smiled. "I agree. That's why Arya and I didn't announce anything. We didn't want our relationship dissected, mocked, or turned into some competition, the way everything becomes in this family." My sister stiffened. He continued, "And frankly, Arya deserves better than to be spoken to like a failure by people who haven't accomplished even a fraction of what she has." My sister slammed her hand on the table. "Then, why did you show up today? Why now?" Ethan's expression shifted, calm, steady, dangerous. "Because today," he said, "your sister finally decided to stop hiding her power." My sister's face contorted, trembling with the realization that nothing she said, no insult, no mockery, no fake superiority, could erase the truth sitting calmly beside me. But she doubled down anyway. "So you're some big doctor," she spat.
"Great."
"Then why would you marry someone like her? She's plain. Socially awkward. She doesn't have a big career." "She's not." Ethan's chair scraped sharply as he stood up. The room froze. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. "Don't finish that sentence," he said quietly. My sister swallowed hard. Ethan continued, "I married her because she's brilliant, empathetic, loyal, and stronger than anyone in this family gives her credit for. I married her because when she loves with her whole soul. I married her because she built herself from the ground up without a single handout." He leaned closer, voice low and razor-sharp. "I married her because she isn't like you." My sister jerked as if slapped. Mom sputtered, "Now wait just." But Ethan wasn't done. "You know what the real reason is?" he said, turning to the entire table. "She never needed me. Not once. She stood on her own long before I entered the picture. I'm not her upgrade. I'm her equal." A stunned silence swept the room. Even Dad seemed hesitant to breathe. My sister's eyes filled with furious tears. "So, what? You expect us to just accept this? Accept her?" Ethan looked at her.
"No," he said.
"I expect you to respect her." I felt something shift, not in them, but in me. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like the quiet sister. I felt like the woman I had become. And my sister knew she was losing control. Her voice shook as she whispered, "Then tell us the real reason you came tonight." Ethan didn't sit back down. He stood there, tall, steady, unbothered, while every person at that table leaned in, waiting for the final blow. Waiting for the truth my sister wasn't ready for. He rested one hand on my shoulder, then looked directly at her. "You want the real reason I came tonight?" he said quietly. "It's simple." My sister swallowed, gripping the edge of the table. Ethan continued, "I came because Arya asked me not to hide anymore." Her head snapped toward me. You told him to come?" I nodded. "For years, you all treated me like I was invisible. Like a background character. Like someone whose life didn't begin until you decided it had value." My mom shook her head rapidly. "That's not true." "Oh, it is," I said calmly. "You only paid attention to my age, my relationship status, my so-called failures. Not once did any of you ask if I was happy." Silence. I looked around the table, at the faces that had shaped my childhood with comparisons, criticisms, and condescending jokes. "You tried to humiliate me tonight. Again. For being single. For being in my 30s. For not matching your expectations. My sister's lip trembled. That wasn't intentional. I said. That doesn't make it less cruel. Ethan squeezed my shoulder gently. I came, he said, because she deserves to walk into a room and be